It's important for every client to recognize a few things before they hire a criminal defense lawyer. First thing is whether or not that lawyer is willing to listen to the problem they have in the case that they are being charged with. A criminal defense lawyer who listens is going to hear things within that scenario that may present options as far as a motion to suppress. It may present some Miranda issues. There may be some issues that can be argued at a sentencing hearing. There's a variety of different possibilities and opportunities that may jump up if that lawyer is willing to listen. So that's the first thing is, does the lawyer that I'm interviewing, does that individual listen to me, and does that lawyer have the patience to sit there and hear what I have to say? The other thing is experience. Does the criminal defense lawyer that the individual out on the street who's looking around to hire a criminal defense lawyer, does that individual have the experience? The experience really plays a big part in how a case what direction a case can go and how a case can be dealt with, because there's really a lot of landmines that an inexperienced criminal defense lawyer can step on if they really haven't been around the block. The other aspect that I tell clients is when a client comes and visits me, I always say, look, before you hire me, go out, interview a few other lawyers, and then come back to me, because I want to make sure that if I'm going to take you on as a client, that you want to be a participant in this process. So I want you to be 100% sure that I'm the right criminal defense lawyer for you. Most, if not all the time, they come back. Whenever I tell someone, go check out the competition, it gives them some context to compare kind of the things I've said and compare it with what other lawyers have told them. So when they come back, one of the things I say is, you have to really have an understanding of why it's important to have somebody in your corner that's willing to take your case to trial. Every prosecutor is ready, able, and willing to take a case to trial. So if you think about that, what happens if your lawyer, A, is too scared to go to trial, or B, doesn't have the experience to try a case? What happens? Well, what happens is you have an imbalance there. And so if you look at your case and you're looking at your lawyer and you're saying to yourself, I think I have a good case, but my lawyer's telling me I need to take a plea. Well, the question is that lawyer really urging you to take a plea because it's in your best interest, or is that lawyer just too scared to go in and butt heads in a court of law? That's really where the fight needs to take place. A good lawyer isn't going to walk in front of a prosecutor and get belligerent or obnoxious and really, devastate the plea negotiations at that point. But if the plea negotiations are really going south and there's nothing left to do, then you have to have a lawyer who does have the ability and has the courage to walk in and really test that prosecutor out and really test the evidence. Because it's amazing, evidence on paper is one thing, but evidence in front of a judge and jury, that's quite another. So a good defense attorney or a good defense lawyer is someone who can look at that evidence and say, okay, I see it on paper, and they have the trial experience to say, okay, this is probably not going to come in for this reason. This is going to be difficult for the prosecutor to get traction on this for that reason. And I think the prosecutor is going to have a tough time with this witness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I really stress to each client that is their constitutional right. And I stress to them, if you don't like the way things are going and you don't like the direction this is heading, let's tee it up. Let's put this in front of a judge or a jury, because there ain't no fear in this heart. I love to try cases. Love to try cases. I enjoy the process. I enjoy picking a jury. I enjoy making an opening statement. I enjoy cross-examining witnesses. I enjoy putting on the direct examination of witnesses. I enjoy closing. I enjoy it all. A good trial lawyer, I think, can be described like this. There was an interview a while back with a very, very famous boxer who said, the individual in the ring that you really need to be afraid of isn't the one who's beating their chest and breathing heavy and glaring at you and huffing and puffing and stomping. The person you really, really need to be afraid of is the individual who walks into that ring with a smile on their face. And that, I think, really distinguishes who really truly is a trial attorney versus who is just saying, hey, I'm a trial attorney.